It's back by popular demand. John Vlismas' show titled The Good Racist is back in the Johannesburg's Montecasino. Now, one of South Africa's most acclaimed and outspoken comedians, John has had sold-out shows for The Good Racist. Johannesburg audiences will see John at his most frank and far removed from your typical ha jokes. Well, the show delves into issues such as the Voortrekkers, Mahatma Gandhi, Shaka, Zulu, and President Robert Mugabe. How absolutely apt is the timing? Well, to tell us more about this show, we are joined in studio by John himself. A very good morning to you, John.
Hi.
And welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You are still on a roll, The Good Racist.
Yes, it seems to have tapped into a vein, so it keeps coming back.
Would you say a good vein or a bad vein?
Well, you know, it's a vein. Is it a good nerve or a bad nerve? I don't know. Sometimes you have to hit a bad nerve to do a good thing.
And for people who've probably never heard of this,
yes.
What's in the name, The Good Racist? And is there such a thing as a good racist?
Well, you know, that's why I made the title what it is. After lots of research and reflection, the truth is that most people in this country have been tainted by racism, whether they like it or not. And so the first point to great dialogue is admitting the elephant in the room. The stumbling block we get to is that nobody wants to be labelled a racist. So I'm 100% confirming that I'm the product of racism. And so therefore I start from that position, helping the audience to not attack them, but say, I'm sharing this problem with you. Much like any other kind of rehab, where you have to begin by going, hi, my name is John and I'm an alcoholic. You have to start with the problem on the table.
We hope you're not. We hope if you're an addict, you were a ha-ha addict.
Yeah, becoming an aha addict, that's the idea.
Well,
yeah.
Brilliant stuff. And, you know, this is not just a comedy show. And we were talking about it off air, about how this is one of those shows that really intends to spark a dialogue. And as you say, no one wants to come out and be labelled a racist.
Yes.
But I think a lot of the times we're scared to speak our minds. We're scared to speak up because we're afraid of what people might say, or we're afraid of saying the wrong thing. What other issues does your show delve into?
Well, it just looks at
points.
Yeah, it looks at the damage done by culture. You know, these ancient ideas that were designed by people who didn't have information. So many of the things that we believe define us as separate groups in this country don't stand up to real scrutiny, academic scrutiny. So I deconstruct the Great Trek. What was it really? The career of Shaka, Zulu, the actual the person who was Mahatma Gandhi. These are all things that we symbolically choose and then we kind of argue over, and we need to examine our own backgrounds and see what is actually true and what is not true. A lot of it's propaganda. And so if we're going to design a new culture or find a way to have an honest dialogue, we need to break those things down to what they really were and start afresh.
Wow. John, you've had such a long, illustrious and successful career in your comedy. What would you say keeps you going? Is there a secret that keeps you so, I hate to use the word relevant, but so relevant and so lovable in the public arena?
I don't know about lovable. I think slightly menacing.
It's like The Good Racist when I say lovable in reference to you, because we love to hate you.
I think I have like a burning curiosity. I just want to learn more all the time. And one of the things that happened in researching the show was that I've realized that if I don't use the privilege I have, undeniably, to improve my own understanding of where we are as a country, it's such a waste. So it's a combination of curiosity and then using my my access to information to try and further my own understanding. And
I'm pretty sure that curiosity is one of the things that lead people to continue to come and attend your shows, The Good Racist.
Yeah.
Since you started with the show, I'm curious about people's reactions.
Yes.
What do they come up to you and say afterwards? Do they say, oh, load of whatever? Or
No, the overwhelming reaction is thank you. It's like, I never thought about things like that. Because they learn new things, you know. Everyone just thought that Grace Mugabe was running around with an extension cord. And I've explained to them, when your husband is 93, you have to stay near electricity because he may stop at any moment. How do you think he stays in power until yesterday? It's extension cords. That's what keeps him going.
You just took out my ugly laugh.
I'm so glad.
On continental television.
I want your ugly laugh. That means it's real. It's like the uncosmetically corrected laugh. Yeah.
And John, Simply needs to stop laughing. What are some of the other things that you would like for audiences to walk away with after they've seen your show and after they've sort of altered their their perspective.
So what I'd like to invite people to do is come in and laugh a lot, but at the same time, think about the quality of the questions that they ask themselves and each other. And the other thing overwhelmingly is it's very easy to make fun of and question each other's cultural background. I ask them not to do that anymore, to rather question your own cultural background and your own belief system, because what you'll find in there is your prejudices. Question those before you question anyone else's. And that's what's exciting for me. So it's pushing boundaries a bit.
Absolutely. And I think what's exciting for me about just what you've been able to do with the Good Races is that you're literally handing us a mirror as a society to force us to look at ourselves and force us to look at our prejudices and our stereotypes and how we contribute to the negative that we see going on
100%.
Around us. Well, you've had a fantastic run at the Montecasino.
Yeah.
Where can people get your tickets to come through?
At CompuTicket, there's a couple of weeks left. There's this weekend and then next week. It's a very intimate venue. It's 150 seats this time, so I run it for 6 weeks. It's a very intimate, so it's much closer contact. The discomfort in the beginning is so much more real because we can really feel each other's breath
all
in this room.
All those bodies.
So that's exciting. So I would recommend coming. I don't know how many tickets are left, but whatever there is, I think people should book them. And then I have a newcomer comedian at every show. There's a different newcomer comedian. So at the moment, there's a wonderful guy called Long John comedian who's from Zimbabwe. So he's not even doing comedy. He just needed a place to sit and rest and experience electricity. It's amazing for him. So come and see a different not even South African, a new comedian every show.
And speaking about how you introduce new comedians on your productions, talk to us about the current state of comedy, and is enough being done to promote young comedians all over the continent?
Yeah, it's fantastic what's going on there. It's just amazing talent everywhere. This year, for the first time at the Comics Choice Awards, we had the Pan-African Awards, so we had 13 African countries nominating comedians from outside South Africa. There's just so much comedy talent on the continent. South Africa's never been better in terms of the young comics. I haven't had one new comic yet, and I've had, I think, 8 guests so far. They've all been fantastic. So I'm really confident about the future of comedy in Africa and South Africa.
Oh, John, high five to you. You're doing
nice
amazing.
To see you.
Love your work. Well, that was John Vlismas talking to us about his show, The Good Racist, which is currently taking place at the Montecasino in Johannesburg. Go get your tickets. He said it's quite intimate, so make sure that you don't have any garlic. Right, John?
Please. It will help.
Time for a quick break. We'll be back.